Hey, it's Radko Delanco here and welcome back to part 3 of how to create authentic performances on modern pianos.
This is the cover of the Moonlight Sonata, of the famous Moonlight Sonata, called Sonata quasi una fantasia per il clavicembalo o pianoforte. Clavicembalo o pianoforte means he puts the harpsichord in the first roll. Hello. And it has been dedicated alla altezza della signora principessa Giovanni Liechtenstein. Means it was a lot of money. Embellishments still referred to for Baroque and post-Baroque musicians to Mr. Bach. An overview. So we have here trills, modern, Trillo modern in cadence, with so-called substitutional fingerings. Aha. So old instruments do not want to repeat, they don't like it. So you have to guarantee that the key comes up to rest position because a trill is an alternating repetition. So what do? You change the finger. And this works pretty good. On the modern one, you will say, okay, I have a double action, I don't need that. But it sounds nice. Why? The damper reacts on half blow of the hammer. So if you use a double action, you will have a super legato trill, which will be foggy. And if you use the substitutional fingerings, the damper will close and it's really clean. So let us see how this works. So this is the next set. You see very good the substitutional fingering. And believe me, it makes your life easy. So it means, but, that you should, and I highly recommend this, take an exercise like this and practice it in all keys, which will be and you can play every trill, you are good. Nothing can harm you. There are two fingering combos, and that's it. When the triller heads downwards, there is no closing note at all. If you play the trill which goes up, there will be a closing note. So we see this as an example in a little prelude of Mr. Bach for his son, where he integrates every possible trill in the left hand. Wow. All these pieces from your lessons. So this is a way to do it nice on the modern instrument. Harmonic field you can connect also with a half blow pedal. This little piece. So trills, if the trill is long or it's located on a dominant, it will get always a closing note, even if it heads downwards. And there's one particular thing I want to attract your attention to. So this is very common in Mozart and Haydn. You see a trill head on a dominant, there's no need to write the closing note. But through the closing note with the 32, he defines that he wants 8 notes in this trill. That's the reason. Nothing else. And that's the reason in the Mozart variations why the trill is defining the tempo. And the note jumping up. now dominant trills with closing note. Countable, 16 notes. Now free trills, which means they're at the end, the piano concerto at the end. So not countable at all, and you play it with one single fingering. So, I think this is also very good to know, appoggiaturas. This is fun. So if you see this writing on the upper side, it is aha. And you see the lower row, which is with a small grace note. It's not no. It's not even, which is often wrong. They play 4/16. This is wrong. The first 2 16ths have a slur and will be extended. And this is an appoggiatura. Appoggiatura, what does it mean? Appoggiare, Italian, to lean on. So you lean on this note. And the other case is you have an appoggiatura, but 2-to-1 ratio. So when you have a dotted note, the first note will get 2 values, and the second one 1, which will be, in the first case, aha, it's not, this is wrong. In the other case, if you find a grace note with a 16th, it will be repeated. Welcome to Mozart. So if you like to learn a little bit of these things, these are the resources. Is it available on internet, or you have to buy the book? But as a professional, it may be helpful to have that stuff. In 1826, Mr. Bechstein's teacher, Henri Pape, patents the felt-covered hammerheads. Bösendorfer starts building instruments in Vienna, and Mr. Chopin publishes his etudes in 33 in Vienna. He writes it about 29. So he is in Vienna, and what does he play? Viennese fortepianos. And here we have a perfectly matching 1825 graph with a Chopin etude on the black keys. This is V max, maximum speed. Because you have a returning note, forget it. You can't play double time. It will get stuck. So the English principle is the modern principle. So the hammer is frontwards oriented. And all modern instruments are working like this. So here we get the Broadwood. And Broadwood introduces the pedals in 1785. So he is the one to replace the knee levers. And the most universal period temperament for post-baroque music is the Kirnberger 3 temperament. So I will put my instrument now on the Kirnberger 3, and in the on the period pitch, I will select now 4 to 423 hertz. We will listen now to a Broadwood from 1796 with Haydn. piano sound. So this is a lovely instrument. It's fun to play. On the modern grand, hey, we will not use slurs. No slurs, you play non-legato. Detach properly after each slurs. And I strongly recommend use professional editions. I personally use Henle, and you are safe. And just read what's written there. It's the only way to communicate with the composer. Mr. Beethoven has a damper split pedal. Did you know that? And he splits the dampers on this C. You can press the left side or the right side, and that's it. Now, Mr. Erard patents the double escapement in 1821. We have felt-covered hammerhead, we have a repetition spring, repetition lever, and a jack. So it's a modern action, definitely. But German and Austrian builders are conservative. They stay to the Viennese action, and this is a typical Liszt piano with a Bösendorfer from 56, no double action, so you will see the trills are slow and scaling is very fast. Trill, yes. Scale, no problem. I'm very close. Chromatic, no problem. But so, you have the impression of folk music. So, that's Liszt. And today you can play double time. But don't. So, in 1859, Mr. Steinway patents the cross-stringing for the grand, and the straight-strung scale remains until the 70s in Europe. The advantage of the straight-strung scale is that you have registers in the piano, like the human voice. And with the cross-stringing, you have a smaller body with a longer string, but it's all equal. That's it. So Liszt did not appreciate the cross-strung scale. So we see here the progression of the intervals in the time from Cristofori, which is here, to the modern time. And you see it expands in the years. So we are getting close to the end, but I think this is so nice to know. Duplex scaling. It's duplex scaling on the modern piano has been invented by Steinway in 1872. So, you see we have here little partials, and left side we have the capo and the bridge, and there is a little resonating thing which resonates through sympathy, and this is the duplex scale. At the end of the piano there are resonators then. In the normal is without and with felt, and the others have little bugs, and people think this is a duplex scale. It is not. It is the resonator, and you can read this in the patent by Steinway. Duplex scale, this is nice. So I will put it on full volume that you can hear it. It will offer, from mezzo forte on, a little tiny octave over the note. Now I will cut it off, and you will see no sunshine there. This is the duplex scale. So I will put it on again, because if I play classical, I have on the modern piano, I have to stay below the level where the duplex scale will react. If not, I play modern. If I play this, I'm pretty wrong. This sounds modern. So this, pew, pew, I don't need that. I have to stay below this level. And it sounds classical. So I can produce on the modern instrument classical sounds. So time periods of the various instruments. Let us see if this works nice here. So we have our clavichord, which is very early from 1400 to the 1800s. The spinet and the virginal. The harpsichord. The fortepiano from 1700, the square piano, the upright and the modern grand, and even player pianos. Now, the clavichord is from 18 to 800, and then the modern ends at 20,000 grams if you play full power. Same appears to the key dips. And you have here all key dips of the early instruments and the modern. So I think we are done. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you so much, and thank you to Roland. Thank you so much.
On the clavichord, one time I heard Maurice Henson say something about Bebung.
Bebung, okay, it's the same thing.
Okay, that's what I
Bebung is German,
Right.
and quiver is English.
I looked it up on my German translation and it didn't show it.
It will not show.
How do you spell it?
B-E-B-U-N-G.
That's how I spelled it.
Yeah, Bebung. Yeah.
I looked it up.
Yeah. Okay, somebody else without a ticket?
Well, so I've always been told the virginals are basically an English version of the harpsichord. That doesn't sound like what you're describing. It's actually a different instrument.
It's a different instrument because it has two bridges delivering the sound. And the spinet delivers with one bridge, and it has a different plucking point. It's the point 1 to 7, and the virginal plucks in the middle of the string. That's the difference.
Thank you so much for watching this MTNA lecture on how to create authentic performances on the modern piano. This lecture was offered by Roland. Thank you for supporting the art of classical performance.